LA Mayor Karen Bass is continuing to face criticism for her disgraceful conduct during the LA wildfire disaster last month. And in a bizarre turn of events, Bass is now playing the victim and launching an investigation into why she was allowed to travel away from the country despite warnings of imminent fires.
To go to Ghana, which I know you've said was a mistake now. But I just am curious on the thought process behind it.
Right.
Because we know that there was warnings about the weather before you went, and you still went. What was the thought process behind going to Ghana?
So let me just tell you a couple of things. First of all, when the White House called and asked me if I would represent the president, I said yes. It was going to be a very, very short trip, over a weekend and 2 business days. We need to look at everything about the preparation and all of that for the fires, because I think when we evaluate that, we will find that although there were warnings that I frankly wasn't aware of, although there were warnings, I think our preparation wasn't what it typically is, meaning that before there's a major weather event, for example, last week when we knew we were going to get into the rains, you saw us come together and us talk about, get your sandbags, bring the K-rails out. That type of preparation didn't happen. If that had, I will tell you, Alex, I wouldn't have even gone to San Diego, let alone leave the country.
The journalist wasn't convinced though, pushing back and informing the mayor that the approaching fires were public knowledge.
But what do you mean there were warnings you weren't aware of? Because I know we were talking about it on the news. A lot of people were talking about the problems, warning that this was going to be a huge deal.
So when I talked about it with the fire chief, what she said is that we have warnings of Santa Ana winds a lot, but predicting this, and you saw, from the city, from the county, that level of preparation really didn't happen. So it didn't reach that level to me to say something terrible could happen and maybe you shouldn't have gone on the trip.
Why didn't it
But to
happen?
me, I don't know.
Online commentators were in disbelief over Bass's blame game, with commentator Charlie Kirk saying, LA Mayor Karen Bass says she's really just a victim for being allowed to travel to Ghana when forecasts predicted massive Santa Ana winds that led to catastrophic fires. She says there will be an investigation as to why she was victimized. Unreal spin. This commentator agreed, saying, Mayor Karen Bass says no one told her not to go to Africa while LA burnt to a crisp in the wildfires. Lady, you are the mayor. And this commentator went further, slamming the mayor and calling her a liar. Karen Bass claims she wasn't aware of any danger before leaving for her vacation in Ghana. This is a blatant lie. There were fire weather warnings the day before she left. Her own X page shared the alerts on the day they were aired. Karen Bass needs to resign immediately. Bass's suggestion that she somehow didn't have all the information is questionable, as even US President Donald Trump confirmed she had wide-ranging powers.
You have emergency powers just like I do, and I'm exercising my emergency powers. You have to exercise them also.
I did exercise them.
Because I looked, you have a very powerful emergency power, and you can do everything within 24 hours.
Yes.
The bizarre interview comes after Karen Bass struggled to defend her trip to Ghana in the early days of the LA fires.
Do you owe citizens an apology for being absent while their homes were burning? Do you regret cutting the fire department budget by millions of dollars, Madam Mayor? Have you nothing to say today? Have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today? Elon Musk says that you're utterly incompetent. Are you considering your position? Madam Mayor, have you absolutely nothing to say to the citizens today who are dealing with this disaster? No apology for them?
And whilst Karen Bass is blaming her incompetent response to the fires on other people, her supporters are blaming it on racism.
We have fires every year, and I don't remember in the 30 years almost that I've lived in LA, I've never seen everybody react like this to the mayor and blame one person for a natural disaster.
Yes.
I've never seen it. Now, what's different this time? Interesting, isn't it?
You said that. Amen, sister.